Hi everyone, and welcome to your reading for all signs. This is going to be an energy signature transmission for the new moon on March 7 in Pisces. So what I'm going to do here is use the Voyager deck to give a general overview of the energies for all signs, and then I'm going to take the Morgan Greer deck and pull a few cards for each sign to give more specific details about how this energy will affect each of you. So while I'm shuffling, please check in with your higher self and your guides. Tune in with me. Let's get a feedback loop set up so we can get really clear messages for everyone and have you be part of this experience rather than just an observer. Okay, let's take a look here. So at the bottom of the deck we have the Actor, which is called, Man of Wands in this deck is called Actor, and it's in reverse here at the bottom of the deck. So I feel that part of what the theme here is for all of us at this time, at this new moon, has to do with issues regarding authenticity. Given that the Man of Wands is called Actor, I see this card come out often, and when it comes up, I feel that the message or the meaning has to do with being authentic and being genuine, being that the actor is kind of a pretender, let's say. So in the spread here, what we have at the foundation is time space, which is Judgment, number 20 from the right major arcana. And there is also beside this card in the foundation the Universe, which is related to the World card from the Rider-Waite deck, and it's number 21. So we have number 20 and number 21, both in reverse. Here we have the Five of Cups with the Sage of Wands, also both are in reverse. I feel that what's down here in the foundation of the reading and in the environment around you is that the Judgment card is kind of a mysterious card for me. I've been reading tarot for 30 years and I still sometimes feel like I don't really understand really what this card is about. But here what I feel it's speaking to is that at this time, in the foundation of our experience, at the core of our experience and coming from the unconscious to the conscious mind, is an awareness that the light is within us and information that we need is coming from within. And that I feel that the message of the time-space card has to do with revelations and understanding and awareness being brought to our consciousness. And in a way where it's like a kind of raw, real, vulnerable truth coming to the surface. And in that moment, it's kind of like the discomfort of a realization that we have been responsible for so many things for so long. And maybe we were not, acting out of a moral kind of responsible space, and that maybe we've been placing some responsibility and authority outside of ourselves. But I feel like with the Judgment card, that it signifies kind of the culmination of an initiation process. So I feel that that's something that's going on here for some of us, for many of us. And at this time there is like an availability of certain kind of energies which are revealing real truths to us about ourselves, some of which are uncomfortable and a little bit hard to integrate, but fundamentally are very beneficial for us to learn and to realize like how much we have been hiding from ourselves in certain ways. That brings us back to the Actor at the bottom of the deck. And with the universe card here being beside the judgment card with this energy here, I feel that what it's saying is that it's an ongoing cycle of revelation, of revealing, okay? It's a revealing energy that is like eternal. Universe energy reminds me of, like, the universe, meaning this card here. It's called the universe. It feels to me like an eternal cycle of forever growing, forever learning, forever revealing and understanding the self. And this card here in this quadrant is paired with the Child of Wands, which in this deck is called Seeker. So I feel that that really eloquently defines and describes the energy that I'm feeling here, where as spiritual entities having a human experience, we are on an internal quest to kind of learn and grow and understand the self and understand the human form that we're in as a kind of vehicle for our spiritual experience. In this quadrant, we have the Five of Cups and the Sage of Wands, both in reverse. This energy in this quadrant represents how we see ourselves at this time. Now, I sense for some of you that you may have been like kind of at this time, or in recent times coming into this moment, you may have been evaluating losses of recent times, and maybe you've been kind of reviewing and kind of examining some experiences that recently brought you to this place where you start to have a greater understanding of, as I said, how much responsibility we have in our own experience. And fundamentally, with the Sage of Wands here, it is this energy here around, I'm hearing protection. But this is what I feel here with this card, and here in this context, in this position, is that we are, for many of us, we are opening up to a time where we kind of are becoming our own guides and our own teachers. Given that we have access now through the internet to so much information, I feel that many of us have been kind of taking on this role as seekers, as spiritual seekers, as devoted beings on a journey of self-discovery, kind of utilizing all the access that we have to technology and information to actually become sort of guiding our own selves through utilizing the technology that's available to us. Now, in this central axis of the reading, it's very interesting. We have, coming from the recent past, or coming from the past, the Hierophant upright, to the Two of Cups upright, to the Nine of Worlds in reverse, and the Six of Worlds is the crossing card at the center of the reading. I feel this is speaking to what I just touched on there, where the Hierophant really speaks about or indicates dogma and strictness, you know, discipline and strictness that is applied to us from institutions, from teachers, from places where there is a sort of authority that's outside of us. And I feel that at this time, a lot of us, as I said, many people are wanting to throw off the kind of restrictions and dogma that, you know, religious institutions and government institutions impose on us, in a way where we kind of are reclaiming a sort of authority over ourselves, and we are reclaiming a sense of responsibility and power that we actually are already innately. And it's like reclaiming our own direction, our own karmic course, to the point where those kinds of institutions and those kinds of places where authority has a kind of dogma attached to it, which is also now a stigma, we're kind of giving ourselves a relief and a release from those kinds of energies, so that we can reclaim our own authority over ourselves, and in doing so, kind of take the reins over our own healing. And I think that's a very beneficial thing. I think that we're in a different era now where, like, those kinds of places, those kinds of authorities, you know, churches and institutions of education and also government, you know, of course they have a place, and they've very much had a place until this point as far as guiding us and managing systems and such. But there is definitely an unconventional energy happening. Like at this time right now, this is the new moon in Pisces, but we're also experiencing at this time, exactly today, Uranus moving into Taurus. And I feel like that's what this energy is kind of describing. It's like this energy is the Taurus energy. So this is kind of like what's been in the past, and this Uranian energy coming into that sign is providing for all of us the ability to kind of liberate and rebel against those kinds of conventional authorities and institutions that provide that kind of structure, but with the limitation. So it's like there's a yearning now for a freedom from types of limitation that are binding and restricting, and a movement towards a greater sense of freedom in our own path as spiritually evolving individuals. And these cards here in the top of the reading and across this central axis here, there is the Two of Cups at the heart of the reading, upright, crossed by the Six of Worlds, and the Nine of Worlds in the outcome position. I feel that this is speaking to, again, all of us kind of as individuals having this deep inner yearning to find union, find our own wholeness within. It's not about relationships outside of us. It's not about partnerships or marriage or even teacher-student relationships. I feel that what this is speaking to is the desire from any of us to kind of experience that feeling of unity within, and a sense of also unity amongst us as a community, such that there isn't really this kind of imbalanced power structure where there are people who have authority over us, where people we go to for information, or people who we go to for guidance may not have as much of a... I'm feeling like the gap between those people and then the general population is kind of closing, and there is a growing movement towards equality on every level, but in particular around spiritual growth and development. And it's a shift from... It's not about, you know, because of course some people have developed further along their path than others and have wisdom to offer and have their own experience, which provides them a sense of... you know, they are deserving and worthy of a position of teacher or mentor or guide, because they simply have had linear years of experience in the earthly plane where they've gathered knowledge and wisdom. But this old school way of kind of looking up to teachers, or projecting kind of onto teachers and people in positions of authority, I feel like that is shifting, and there's a movement here towards a greater sense of equality amongst all people. Now, and then in a sense, with that comes this sort of feeling of working together. That's what I feel like this Six of Worlds is over the crossing card over the Two of Cups at the center of the reading. It feels like it's a more unified force of everyone kind of rising up together to kind of be in their process of evolving. We're all in it together, but we're all in it on our own, in a sense, is kind of what I'm feeling with that energy there. Now, in the outcome position, you have the Nine of Worlds. And I feel like this is very much speaking to the fundamental energy that Uranus moving into Taurus is bringing for all of us, is that it's shining a spotlight on our self-worth, on our values, on our relationship to ourselves, our self-esteem, our relationship to our bodies and our physical environment. And I feel like that's part of what this energy is here with the Hierophant moving to the Nine of Worlds, is this sensation also of moving away from this idea that spirituality is something otherworldly, and it's bringing it back to the earth, which is where we are. And indeed, this is the place where spirituality is actually really existing, and it requires us to be present and grounded and in the earthly realm and in our physical bodies to actually really experience spirituality in the way that it's meant to be experienced in this plane, in the dimension that we're in. Other cards here at the crowning positions of the reading, you have Strength in reverse at the center of the reading. In the Hopes and Fears position, we have Ace of Cups reversed with the Eight of Cups reversed. And the potential outcome is the Seven of Wands with the Woman of Cups in reverse. So a few Cups cards here at the crowning positions. What I feel this is speaking to is I'm hearing determination. I'm hearing willingness. I feel that there is here a growing understanding that, like, each individual's sense of well-being and sense of contentedness and like nurturing is kind of becoming everyone is sort of growing into this awareness that each person is responsible for their own nurturing, for their own health and well-being, for their own sense of belonging and unification, and that we each as individuals need to take responsibility for that work. That is basically what the path of the spiritual seeker is kind of that unification towards wholeness. And that is really, really highlighted here with these cards here in this reading. I feel like also with this energy around like the physical body and physical well-being and groundedness and wholeness and self-esteem and self-confidence, there is something here with these Seven of Wands and then the Woman of Cups in reverse, where I feel that some of what that is a need to kind of drop some of the defensiveness, drop any projections that may be happening, where we are putting our responsibilities of our emotional well-being onto other people. And bringing, again, back to the self and awareness of our own responsibility about our well-being, about our emotional state, and about our comfort. Ace of Cups with Eight of Cups. Both are reversed here. This is the hopes and fears. This is touching on the same point again for me about, you know, wellness, health and well-being, coming from a place of unconditional love, and the path of the spiritual seeker being one which is constantly striving towards evolving and growing and changing. And part of that means the revelations that come being ways of kind of, as I was saying earlier, like that, those revelations that come from those judgment moments have to do with light being shined on places where we have been blind to certain things. And the responsibility of that light being, the awareness that comes from those you know, revelations being awakened in us, that being a kind of a point of a culmination of an initiation process that we may have been in. And fundamentally, it's about working through and not avoiding, but striving to overcome stagnation in places where we kind of get a little bit stuck and a bit lazy or a bit, you know, reluctant to move on. It's that kind of stubborn energy that we need to overcome our own shortcomings and really constantly strive to shine light on the shadow and bring awareness to the places where we have not been able to see. Let's have a look at the bottom of the deck. Man of Wands reversed, Four of Wands reversed, Six of Cups reversed, and Ten of Wands reversed. I feel that what's here, as I said earlier, the Man of Cups for me very much is an indicator about a process of growing into greater authenticity and overcoming, I'm hearing selfishness, but overcoming ingenuousness. I'm not sure if that's a real word. Overcoming inauthenticity and like growing into more acceptance of the self and uncovering and revealing, removing masks, removing falsities, removing insecurities, or striving to understand insecurities and overcome them using self-love. That's the Ace of Cups, unconditional self-love, and striving and aspiring to be greater, to overcome, you know, our shortcomings, to strive towards growing and to overcome any kind of emotional stuckness that we feel and those limitations that come with that. It all comes back to the same thing, which is unconditional self-love. That's where a sense of wholeness can come. That's where a sense of self-esteem and value, personal value comes from working in that area of self-love, self-esteem, self-confidence. Okay, so that's the general reading for all signs. Now I'm going to shuffle the Morgan Greer deck and pull a few cards for each sign. I'll start with Pisces, since it's the Pisces new moon. And let's see what messages we get for each of the zodiac signs with regard to this new moon and the cycle that we're moving in now. Send your energy over into the deck so I can get really clear messages for you. Okay, Pisces, let's have a look. Ace of Pentacles reversed and the Queen of Swords reversed. I feel that the message here is that for Pisces people, you may want to have a fresh physical start in the world. Maybe you're looking for a new beginning in your home life or in your health. And again, it's kind of a reiteration of what we spoke on already here. There's a need for honesty within. There's a need for really accepting the information that's been revealed to you through your process of initiation, through whatever, you know, difficult time that you may have been through. It's about really utilizing those difficult experiences to find truth, to find wisdom, to find knowledge in your experience that will help you transition into a new part of life where you are feeling much more open. There's a greater sense of wholeness and wellness and physical groundedness and acceptance of being on earth, because that's part of the journey for the Pisces people, isn't it? Is that there is that kind of escapist tendencies, and I feel that what's here is that there is a potential here for a new beginning, or a beginning of a new cycle in the physical realm with greater wellness and greater sense of well-being in the physical realm, if you can kind of acknowledge some things that you may have not been able to accept recently. So perhaps some information came to light, some understandings have come to light, and I think if you're struggling with accepting those things, this is a moment to really dig deep and strive to be honest about those things, so that you can have that sense of kind of, I'm just feeling like a relaxation into just being here. Just being here. Okay, Pisces. Now, Aries, we have King of Cups and the Knight of Wands in reverse. I feel what this is speaking to is that there is the possibility here for a deep emotional, emotional, I'm hearing recovery. Some Aries may have been dealing with a person that has been causing them some stress and emotional tension and anxiety recently. And I feel that there is the potential here to heal that situation with that person by simply acknowledging, acknowledging that person. There's something here about this person needing your acknowledgement or needing your acceptance. I'm going to take one more card to see if I can get any more information about that. Eight of Wands reversed. Yeah, I feel that there's a need for some kind of communication with this person. Just some clear, direct communication coming from a place of emotional maturity and emotional intelligence. Just clear, direct communication, and there will be a resolve. Aries. Okay, Taurus. Now we have Six of Swords and the Hanged Man. Okay. Again, there's something here about acceptance. There's something here about an emotional acceptance of a situation. But with the Six of Swords here, I feel that there's the opportunity here for you to really move on and move away from a difficult emotional time. If you can use your adaptability. Use adaptability to surrender to the way things feel. And that will be a catalyst for you to be able to then transition. I hope that makes sense, Taurus. After Taurus, we have Gemini, the Hierophant reversed, and Ten of Wands reversed. We have the Hierophant in the general reading there. I feel there's a little bit of a reiteration here for the Cancers. Sorry, Cancer or Gemini? I can't remember. Whatever I just said. So in this pairing here, I feel that the message has to do with also releasing yourself from dogma. And it's about releasing also yourself from expectations of people that you look up to. It's also about releasing yourself from it has to do with reclaiming your own inner authority and not looking outside of yourself for any kind of approval or guidance or information, and putting down the burden of having to kind of always get approval from people or from some one person in particular. It could be. I'll take one more here to see if I can get a little bit more on that. You have the World card. So yeah, there's a completion here of some kind of a cycle with a person, I feel. I feel that there may have been someone that you really looked up to greatly, but at the same time, it's almost a feeling here like you respect this person and you look up to them and you like lean on them sometimes for guidance and information, but you also like kind of don't like them that much. I don't know, that sounds weird, I guess, but there's some kind of like resentment there, I feel. And this is about like transforming your relationship with this person by putting down the expectations that you have on them for what you think they could provide for you as far as guidance and support, and reclaiming your own inner authority and beginning to activate more of your own intuition and looking within more often to collect wisdom and guidance and direction, bringing it from within. So I think that was Gemini. This might be Cancer. If it's the other way around, just switch it. So we have Page of Swords reversed with the Wheel of Fortune reversed. Interesting cards. Again, I feel that there is something here around like shifting the direction of your own life, and rather than waiting on some external kind of authority or external event to generate a catalyzation, this is about some kind of shift that you need to make within to kind of channel your own inner visions and inner imagination into something to kind of make it different than what it is, if that's what you want. There's also a message for some of you here around your communication style and starting to develop a more clearer and more concise style of communication, and begin to develop a practice of eliminating unnecessary communication. Learning to be more succinct, putting down the chit-chat and putting down the gossip and putting away any kind of unnecessary talk, and just really becoming more aware of how powerful words and language and communication is, and being just more practicing more discipline around that topic. Leo, Three of Cups and the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Interesting. I feel that the message here for Leo is that for some of you, if you may be feeling like your circle of friends, your social group is making you feel insecure or triggered, or if your social circle has like a diminishing effect on your sense of well-being, or I'm hearing also on your personality, then it could be time for you to really eliminate certain people from your social interactions and become more refined in your choices about who you socialize with and how you interact with social set, especially with regard to women. Three of Cups upright and the Queen of Pentacles reversed. Because I feel like with this Queen of Pentacles in reverse, it is really about your self-esteem and your self-worth and your value. And seeing her here in reverse, and with this Three of Cups, I feel like there is sort of energy around you in your social circle that is maybe impacting your self-esteem in a harsh way, in a diminishing kind of way. And keep in mind that nobody can do that to you, but at the same time, the people that you have around you are reflections of you. So if you're experiencing that kind of energy where you don't feel so good about yourself when you're around certain people, then maybe you need to get new friends. Virgo, Six of Cups reversed and the Eight of Pentacles reversed. Okay. I feel that there's something here about connections from like soul level connections that you might have, like a soulmate connection that you might have that is also affecting your self-esteem in a way that is impacting you in diminishing kinds of ways. It's quite a similar feeling here, but rather than this being about a social circle, I feel like this is more about one person, whether it's a romantic partnership or some kind of deep soulmate connection that you have. It's in some way, again, diminishing your sense of well-being or your sense of purpose, or it could be creating confusion. And that's something to look at right now at this time. Maybe you need to kind of either, I'm hearing, interject. But I feel there's something then around like needing to catalyze your dynamic with this one person, either communicating certain things that you may be holding back on, or just removing yourself for a little while, or maybe permanently from this person's life, or just maybe minimizing the contact with that you get with this person. Or if it's someone that you're around often and that won't change in the near future, I think there's something about you needing to change your energy, like you need to recalibrate your own frequency so that the way this person makes you feel is also altered. Because I feel like there's something in the reflection with this person which is having an impact on you in a physical way and an emotional way, which is not doing you well. Libra, Judgment and the Tower. Whoa. Okay, Libra, let's talk about it. Two major arcana cards, two pretty intense major arcana cards, very dramatic, very drastic kind of changes happening here. The Tower card most certainly is like, a Uranian kind of energy. We spoke about Uranus moving into Taurus, and Judgment we had in the general reading for all signs, and I spoke about how, you know, it's kind of that, it's kind of like the phoenix rising from the fire. So what you have here is the opportunity to really make some pretty dramatic changes in your sense of well-being, in your sense of self-esteem, in your sense of purpose, in your sense of value, like how you value yourself, how you treat yourself. I'm hearing there's something here around like giving permission to yourself to kind of be more well, like taking better care of yourself, and changing the way that other people treat you or view you based on how you project your own energy. There's a real rebirth happening here. This is a really strong reading for you. Out of all the signs so far, these are two major arcana cards that have come out, both upright and both fairly vivid, you know, kind of energies about rebirth and change, and fairly could be sudden, like it could seem sudden, but actually this is something that I feel has been in the works, in the underworld, in the subconscious for quite a long time. And it could be that at this time you are really ready to actually reveal and expose your inner process that you've been in for some time to other people, and let them know that you are transformed, you have changed. And that's a beautiful thing, that's a very powerful thing, and it's probably long overdue. Okay, Libra. Scorpio, we have the Devil and the Ten of Swords reversed. Also very dramatic looking cards here. I also feel that in this reading for you guys, there is message here around like a completion or an end of a cycle around dependency, around unhealthy attachments, and around behavior that is maybe kind of diminishing your self-esteem. Definitely related to self-esteem issues here. I feel like there's some changes going on for you where you are putting an end to perhaps dynamics with other people, or just your own personal sense of well-being and self-esteem is changing to the point where you are ending certain habits and certain behaviors that have been diminishing and affecting your sense of well-being or your personal your self-esteem in a diminishing way in recent times, or maybe even for a long cycle. There is a choice here. I feel like this is you making a choice to end bad behaviors or certain kinds of activities or habits that are harmful to the self. Scorpio. Capricorn. Seven of Cups reversed and the Sun. Interesting. What is this? I feel that there's something to do here with like clarity coming to mind. Like it feels like there's a closure here around something that you've been unsure about, or some kind of issue which has been kind of making you feel confused or uncertain is ending, and there's a clarity here that is very bright and optimistic. And I feel like, again, it has to do with self-esteem and self-confidence and self-worth. You have kind of understood how to move forward on a specific topic that you have been confused about in the past or recently, in a way that is resolving any kind of uncertainty, because you understand that your self-esteem is a priority and your self-worth is more important, and that's where you should make decisions from. And so there is a clarity there, and then and successful kind of decision making. Capricorn. So now we have Aquarius. Justice in reverse with the Death. Okay, let's talk about it. Two also very heavy hitting cards for you, Aquarius. Both major arcana. Again, I feel like here what's available to you is the ability to make a massive transformation in yourself in the way that you are actually able to open to life. And seeing the Justice in reverse, I feel that there's a little bit more work to do in clarification of the mind, of like overcoming uncertainty, overcoming self-doubt. Again, coming back to this issue around self-confidence, self-esteem, self-love. I think that integrity is maybe an issue in that you're unsure about how to move forward and transform and transition in yourself in a way that it's almost like you kind of have this the feeling I get is that you may be afraid to make changes in yourself because people around you have become accustomed to how they can work with you, or how their energy flows between you and another person. And I feel like there's a little bit of fear here in changing your energy in a way that is more in alignment with your true nature, because you're afraid of how other people will respond to that. And I'm here to pass on the message to say that you can't hold on to the way things have been, and you really need to make this change. It's very important that you make this change. The Justice card needs to get into the upright position here. That needs to really be something that is your priority. I feel to take one more card here to get a little bit more clarity on this. And we have Ten of Pentacles in reverse. So it could be something to do with family members. It could actually have something to do with a legal matter with regard to maybe either a separation or family or some kind of like home thing. Something to do with home or family. Could be a divorce or a separation, or something with related to real estate or contracts. Something's ending there, and I think that there could be it could be a warning for some people that maybe if you delay too long to kind of close up something or take care of something, that it may not have the ending that you want or that you feel that you need, that you see. So if there is some pending legal issue or some kind of issue relating to contracts or something, really look at it as soon as possible and do what you can to kind of resolve things in a very timely way here, if possible. And I think that's also all 12 signs there from Aquarius. Yeah, we started with Pisces. So that is the reading there for the new moon at this time. I hope you found that helpful and enlightening. That was an honor and a pleasure to read for you. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. Hit the notification bell so you can get notified when new readings get uploaded. And have a fantastic cycle. We'll see you in the next reading.